Hello, fans, collectors, and investors. Welcome back to Iconic Baseball. I am Iconic Al, back with another countdown video. If you are unaware of my countdown and you're into collecting the all-time greats, the most iconic ball players of all time, I highly recommend you subscribe and join the fun. Today we are at position number 79 on my top 100, and it's a very special player, a very special man. Aside from being one of the premier sluggers in baseball history, this guy has the cultural distinction of being the first Jewish superstar in Major League Baseball. We're talking the 1930s, okay? So let that sink in for a second. And then let me tell you this. He served his country for 4 years out of the prime of his career in World War II. The fight against Hitler and the Nazis. Now let that sink in. This guy deserves to be applauded and renowned as a hero on the field and off. It gives me great honor to introduce the Hebrew Hammer, the great Hank Greenberg.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Bottom line, Hank Greenberg was really good. He hit .313 for a career with a, get ready for this, .412 on base percentage. The numbers that he was able to put up during his time, really, the only thing you could say about them is they're rare. It's a very rare talent that he had. He is one of only 10 players to have a career OPS over 1. We're talking about names like Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Ted Williams, Barry Bonds, Jimmy Foxx. Names like that. Hank Greenberg is in that conversation. He is one of those 10 players. Oh, by the way, Mike Trout is the 11th. The active player that has 1 OPS. So Mike Trout is in that conversation as well, by the way. But Hank Greenberg is in that conversation as well. I believe Greenberg is number 9 all time with a 1.0169 OPS. That is a very rare thing. That's your on-base plus slugging. That's a very, very good measure of offensive output. And I think one of the better ways to judge how impactful a player is offensively. You can say he's one of the top 10 of all time in that stat, which is really meaningful. He hit 331 career home runs, which, again, you have to temper that with essentially 4 seasons missed due to military service in World War II, which, if you add back in his average of about 38 home runs a season, times 4, you would get 152 additional home runs added onto his 331. Really, we're talking about, conservatively, a guy who may have hit 483 home runs in his time. We're talking between 1930 and 1947, when you didn't see 500 home run hitters. I mean, there were only a handful of 500 home run hitters at that time. So he really was one of the premier power hitters, one of the premier offensive producers of his time, by any measure. The numbers you see are a 159 OPS plus, which means he was 59% better than the average Major League player. That's really good. That's really good. He won 2 World Series championships. In 33 postseason games, he hit .318 with 5 home runs and 22 RBIs. Basically an RBI per game in the postseason. I mean, I could go on for days on Hank Greenberg and how good he was. He had 55.7 WAR, which, again, 55.7 WAR with an asterisk. You have to add back about 6 WAR per season. Each of the 4 seasons he was away in World War II fighting the Nazis, mind you. So he really should have about 24 additional WAR onto his existing 55.7 WAR, which would put him right around 80 WAR. So that's the kind of player he really was, and maybe more than that. But conservatively, probably about an 80 WAR player with close to 500 home runs. And dear God, a .412 on base percentage and a .313 career hitter and an OPS of 1.0. I mean, this is a guy who was a rare talent. You don't see guys with that kind of power, with that kind of offensive firepower, that pop in their bat, and then you qualify that with he walked more times than he struck out. He walked 852 times and only struck out 844 times in his career. So just this rare combination. And just one additional thing. He was one of only 5 players to finish his career with a 300 batting average, a 400 on base percentage, and a 600 slugging percentage. There's only 5 players that have done that in the history of baseball. Do you know who those 5 players are? Babe Ruth, Jimmy Fox, Ted Williams, and Lou Gehrig. Okay? So we're talking about a very, very elite talent. That's really what I want to come across here. His combination of skills and numbers really did put him in that class, in that rare class of hitter. In addition, 2-time MVP award winner, 4-time home run title. Just an amazing player. It's almost does him a disservice to just say he was a great Jewish ball player, because he was just a great ball player. Well, let's move on to the piece that I have for Hank Greenberg. Regrettably, I don't have a Playing Days Hank Greenberg card. This is actually a reprint. It's autographed. Authentic autograph of Hank Greenberg, which I love. I love the eye appeal of this piece. This is a reprint of the 41 play ball Hank Greenberg, which is a set that I love, a pose that I love, an autograph that I love. If you look on the back here, it does say in the lower left reprint, which this is my way to economically gain a Hank Greenberg autograph without breaking the bank on an original. Now, if this is an original 41 play ball signed by Hank Greenberg, this would be a 4-figure item. This would be a very expensive piece. So I collect for eye appeal personally, and for me, in my budget, and with an eye toward how the piece looks, I think I paid about $130, $140 for that item. And for me, right now, that fits within my budget. It gives me that really nice eye appeal and a nice authentic Hank Greenberg autograph, which I cherish. Don't get me wrong, I want an authentic Playing Days Hank Greenberg card, and that actually is on my shopping list. Maybe next year's National, maybe a local show. If I do see a 1939 play ball, Hank Greenberg, that presents well, it is on my shopping list. That's something I'm actually looking for. So, if anybody out there has one and looking to sell it, trade it, feel free to reach out to my Instagram or message me. It's something that I am looking for, because I really do want a Playing Days Hank Greenberg piece. So, this is my ode to the great Hank Greenberg. Make sure you subscribe to keep following along on this countdown, this odyssey. And until next time, keep collecting and stay iconic.